Right, let's get serious again. Here is the reaction of the Manchester City manager, Pep Guardiola.
Pep, that was quite the game. What did you make of it?
Good. We take the point. So second half was excellent. We miss. We cannot score in 6-yard box. How many times we're in the 6-yard box, against the keeper or the other one, he could not convert. And of course the threat that they are really good. But really pleased with the performance, especially in the second half.
Were there times when you're watching it, as you say, some of the opportunities that you had, you're thinking, surely it's got to go in, or is it just one of those nights?
There's a mystery. I don't have answer to your question. So sometimes, I don't know, we create a lot against that team in this stadium, especially in the second half. In the first half, we struggled simply because we struggled against the pressing, but Rodri gave us the extra pass, the composer, to break the lines, and after we could run, and second half was much, much better.
How difficult was it to break Sunderland down defensively? How good were they today?
First half a little bit. They made man marking so aggressive, we could not keep the ball, the people up front. But in the second half, we break better. And of course, the threat, they are so physical, they are so strong. So it's not surprise at that, but we take the point. It's a long way.
What did you make of the battle as well between Mukiele and Haaland, especially in that first half? It seemed like both of them were giving as good as they got.
Yeah, it was a good battle.
Is that one of the things that you had to try and work on in terms of trying to get Haaland in those spaces, because Mukiele wasn't really giving him anything at all?
Yeah, but to that we have to make before 3 or 4 passes. Otherwise, it's difficult.
When you come away from a game like this, goalless draw, do you accept the point or do you feel like you deserve more?
It's what it is. We cannot change the result. So we can analyze always. They can say, oh, you had to score this action or the other action. So you never know. So, but it's what it is. The results always is what it is.
We saw you speaking to Luke O'Nien at the end as well. What were you saying to him?
Who?
Luke O'Nien at the end, one of the Sunderland players.
No, so I congratulate them.
And then just before looking ahead as well, Chelsea up next. Enzo Maresca leaving the club. What's your reaction to that?
I'm sorry for Enzo. He's a close friend. We spent 1 or 2 years incredible together. So it's a question for Chelsea.
Pep, thank you very much for your time.
It certainly is. That's his former assistant, Enzo Maresca, in case you weren't with us at the start of the show or the start of the day, has parted company with Chelsea on the first day of this new year. Now, he's talking about the chances and how they didn't find their way through in the 6-yard box. City's best 2, actually, came to their substitute left-back, Gvardiol. We know what a goal threat he was last season. He had a couple of decent efforts here, didn't he?
Yeah, normally quite a reliable source of goals for a defender. Unfortunately for him there, he just lost his balance and he was probably going down as he was heading it. However, still, when you're that close to goal, you can see he's quite clearly onside. He just loses his balance and he's just trying to struggle to stay upright before he heads it. And he gets plenty on it, and you would have thought the power would have gone past the goalkeeper, but what a reaction save that is. And then this is not even a 1 in 10 chance. I mean, this is just so speculative. He does so well to get this on target, or just off target, I should say. But it's a great effort. The header is the one that he'll be going to sleep tonight thinking, could I have done better?
Yeah, I mean, it's only the 3rd time they haven't scored in the Premier League this season. I mean, they kept going. You couldn't fault their persistence, could you?
No, and excuse me, Doku had a really good chance when he jinked inside, didn't he? But it hit Mukiele, and I think in the face, really. He didn't even know anything about it. So that's why you could see Pep was... It's different if you go there, you're not performing well, you're not making chances, you're not dominant, particularly in the second half, and you're a little bit flat or disappointed. But I actually thought Manchester City were fine today. They were the better team. They were the ones who were going to score. They just couldn't find a way, and that's just through sheer persistence from the Sunderland defenders and a bit of fortune here, and the goalkeeper was excellent. And it's, it could be a good point for Manchester City. It could be. Yeah, of course, they want to win every game. They want to be on Arsenal's tails. But Arsenal went there and drew. City have gone there and performed. I thought they performed well in the second half. Got a point. Time to regroup and get back for the Chelsea game. But I don't think there was not a lot lost, really, in the Manchester City performance. Doku was really sharp when he came on. Rodri looked good and composed when he came on. So they were much better in the second half. They just couldn't find a way, and that was all credit to Sunderland.
Yeah, which sometimes you just have to
Yeah.
say the opposition have stopped as well today.
Listen, we've watched 2 games today. One in terms of Liverpool that were disappointing, didn't create much, didn't have that energy, that thrust. Manchester City won't be disappointed with their performance. They just came up against a really well-drilled, great atmosphere, great bonding, great team in Sunderland today. So, yeah, I think Pep Guardiola will be disappointed with the result, but he won't be thinking, I've got problems. I've got to change this, that and the other in the team.
OK, we've heard from the Manchester City boss. Here is their skipper, Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo, what a game. Goalless in the end, a point. What did you make of it all?
2 different halves. I would say that in the first half we didn't play that well. We didn't control the counters as well as we should. We attacked a bit too quick. We didn't move them to then find the spaces. And then a second half where we had a lot of chances. That's my perception. That's what I felt. And today was one of those days where we couldn't finish them, and it's fine. It's a point. Obviously, was not happy. We're not happy because we wanted better than this, but still a long season, yeah.
Does it feel like chances missed, or defensively they were just difficult to break down?
No, a little bit of both. They're a good team. It's no coincidence that they're undefeated at home this season. A lot of credit to them, but. We're fighting for the title. We're trying to stay as close as possible to the top, so we need to also win these kind of games. Unfortunately, today we didn't. We missed a lot of chances, but on to the next one.
As a player, what do you learn from a game like this, where you are left frustrated at full time when you say it was a game of 2 halves?
It's football, isn't it? You're not supposed. You can't be perfect every time, every half, every minute, and we know that. The team is showing a lot of resilience at the minute. In the moments where we don't play that well, we're still very consistent. We're still very stable. And today I thought that we were that. Unfortunately, we missed the last step to score our chances, but that's the game.
Sitting and watching the game as well with the crowd, they seemed to be cheering every tackle that Sunderland made as well and every chance that they had. What was it like for you as an opposition player with the crowd noise today?
It's a good crowd, but it's the Premier League. I've been here 9 years, so no surprise for me, no surprise for us. We're quite used to this.
Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers.
Well, Bernardo Silva saying you wanted to stay as close as possible to Arsenal. They could have been 2 off. They are 4 off at the end of the first day of January of 2026 at the halfway stage. So 57 points still to play for the difference. Obviously, you'd rather be where Arsenal are at the moment, but that's not a hugely significant gap at the halfway stage, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. They're poised, ready to pounce. I think Arsenal will be delighted that they can have one big slip-up and still be top of the league. If they can keep that sort of 4 points or more, then that takes the pressure off. While it's only 2 points, let's say, you're always a little bit nervous looking over your shoulder. But first half of the season done for Arsenal, full marks. They've not been flawless, but they've done what they expected. And actually, they've got players coming back now as well. I'm actually really impressed with Manchester City, though, because I didn't think they'd be this good this soon, this season. I thought just with so many changes, almost a rebuild, so many new players coming in, I thought it might be a little bit of an inconsistent struggle. Yeah, top 4, of course, for Manchester City, but I didn't think that they would be pushing Arsenal as they are. I thought certainly Liverpool would be reigning champions, and I thought it'd be sort of Arsenal and Liverpool as opposed to Arsenal and Manchester City. So they're only going to get better, Manchester City. That team are gelling nicely. Got some big players coming back into the team. Obviously, all of Pep Guardiola's experience as well. They could be the team to have a real strong finish. But Arsenal, to me, just look like the real deal this season.
And it'll be interesting to see if Manchester City invest in January. We don't think Arsenal will, because they probably don't need to. But there's rumours, of course, that Manchester City will go into the market and give them another little push and give them a little bit more quality. And that will be very interesting, won't it, to see who they bring in, if they do bring anybody in, and whether that will help them moving forward. But I was with Michael. I expected them to do well, but not as well as they have done, because they did bring in a few last year in January, didn't they? That really didn't fire. And then, of course, they had a busy summer, and they are clicking into gear. And the likes of Cherky, and he's starting to play well. The more he plays in the team. Erling still scoring goals. They need to keep him fit. So it'll be interesting to see if they do any business, and that might just give them a little bit more impetus going forward.
And the window, of course, today is open.
It's open today?
It is open today, for those who didn't know amongst us.
Bank holiday today.
Right, when we come back, we will hear from the Sunderland manager. What a job he's doing in the Premier League for the first time, and he's still not lost a home game. Reggie Libre's thoughts on their draw next. What a first day of 2026. The breaking news was that Enzo Maresca parted company with Chelsea. 18 months in charge, 1 win in the last 7 games. He is no longer the Chelsea boss. Liverpool kicked us off with our live action in the new year. The defending champions, though, couldn't beat Leeds for the second time this season. Clear-cut chances at Anfield, few and far between. More drop points at home for Arne Slot's side. Fulham's recent resurgence continued. They had to come from behind away at Crystal Palace after Jean-Philippe Mateta had given them the lead. But club captain Tom Kearney off the bench, much to the delight of his manager, grabbing Fulham a point. Thomas Frank did again, still to lose at the Stadium of Light since being promoted back to the Premier League. 0-0 with Manchester City. Let's get the thoughts now of their manager, Reggie Libre.
It was a really intriguing match. I think a lot of people in the stadium didn't want it to end. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, we enjoyed it. I think we showed strong character against probably one of the best teams in Europe at the minute. It was important to defend well. I think we were bold because we tried to be aggressive, high up the pitch. And I think we disturbed their routine, maybe their flow, and it was really important. We created a few chances as well. So it was a good game. We are a bit lucky sometimes because they have so many threats and they know how to manage the ball in the final third, and they are really good for that. So it's a good point, yeah.
It was a strong first half performance, but how important was that second half of resilience from your team today?
Yeah, it's so important in football to play 2 halves. Otherwise, you can be happy after the first, but you know that you have to go all the way, and the scenario can change in just one moment. So I think this team showed from the beginning of the season a strong character, and they can play good football, and 30 minutes later they know how to defend together, how to suffer together, and they have many faces, and I think it's important for us.
There were some really crucial individual battles on the pitch today as well, but to keep that energy all the way throughout the game, how pleased were you with that?
Yeah, it was important because with so many threats, like Doku at the end, for example. So maybe Lucha and Trey were a bit tired, but go again because you have now a strong winger, and they defended alone but together as well, with always great connection in our triangles. And I think we made their life harder today to conclude, to cross, to shoot, and it was great.
What does this say about this Sunderland team to be able to get a point against this Manchester City side? I asked this same question to Granit Xhaka as well, and it shows that belief in the side.
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes we don't know that we can be so good, and I think it's important to repeat this kind of performances because it shows that we need to believe in our way of playing, in our strength as well. So sometimes when you are new in a league like the Premier League, I think sometimes you can say, oh, maybe it will be too hard. But with confidence, with strength, with belief, I think we can go further.
Is that what's so crucial as well, to take this consistency into the second half of the season, is to have that belief among the players that you can stick to this level now?
Yeah, it's still fragile, and I think we always need to reset because we'll have another tough game in 3 days against a strong opponent once again. And if you think that just going on the pitch will be enough, it's not possible. So it's always a new reset, a new scenario. But I think we are growing.
Thank you very much for your time today.
Well, they're growing, and they are beautifully placed in 7th position at the halfway stage on 29 points. And he was talking about the ethic and who they are there of Sunderland. We want to see this clip again that we showed at half-time, because in 30 seconds it says everything about Sunderland's season, doesn't it?
It does, and not just everything about Sunderland and the players and their attitude, but just love the clip of the fans and how much they appreciate this. I mean, you can hear them in the background urging their team on, and they don't disappoint them at all. They're pressing with lots of intensity, lots of desire to win that ball back. Every single person in the team. If you get one link that's broken in this, it all falls down. Every single player on the front foot. Look at the crowd's reaction straight after that. And this again in the second half. I mean, it's brilliant the way they win the ball back, and it takes a brave team to do that, and it takes a fit team to do that. And in the last minute, they were as mobile, as athletic as they were in the first half.
Yeah. I mean, we could have clicked up 10, 20 opportunities where they did this, and it was, yes, they were slightly hanging on near the end, but when they broke, they were clever. And like, this was right near the end of the game, and it was a very clever little back heel, and they worked it wide. They weren't just clearing the lines like crazy and working hard. They were getting out and they were trying to counter. But the minimum effort, we said before, if they do this all the time, and that's all they do till the end of the season, they're going to keep on winning points just because of that. It's a hard place to go. They've got a wonderful little run going on there. The fans know what they expect, and the fans will demand that type of performance every single game, particularly at the Stadium of Light. And it's going to... other clubs from now on will go up there, and it's going to be a really, really hard place to go and get a victory, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the incredible thing, that's with 6 players away at AFCON.
I mean, plus Ballard.
Exactly. 7 real key players out. Lots of people thought that as soon as AFCON came around, that's going to be Sunderland's bubble burst and they might just have to hang on. But bringing in so many new players, the freshness, I suppose, it helped. But, that's another incredible thing. They're not supposed to have big, strong squads with depth. If they get injuries, everybody thinks that these types of teams will capitulate, but there was none of that today.
No, and it's an example to any club. I mean, lots of people are moaning about players not being available. They've played 3 times since those players weren't available. Haven't lost any of those games.
No. Just efforts, just determination, just a real... It feels... I mean, you don't know, not in the dressing room, but it feels as if there's a real good, camaraderie, doesn't it? And everybody will work hard for each other, and everybody will talk to each other. And when they get, the players back from AFCON, teams are starting to get knocked out. They'll come back in dribs and drabs. Hopefully they'll go on and improve and have another little a kick on. But the fact that they're so close to the likes of Chelsea's and Liverpool's and the Manchester United's already is a huge credit for everybody involved. As I said, they're a very low-key team, aren't they? We don't really know the number 2 at Sunderland, or the number 3, or the set-piece coach, or the director of football. But they're all doing an incredible job, and maybe that little bit of secrecy, and we're not really, the spotlight's not on them, is probably helping them.
So as we're at the halfway stage, I'm going to put to you at £13 million at 33 years of age for value and influence. Yeah. Granit Xhaka is the signing of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that statement. Of course, every team will have their own. Manchester City fans might say Donnarumma's the sign of the season, or the Cherky, and Liverpool might say X, and someone from Arsenal might say Y. But the fact that he left the Premier League after struggling really the latter part at Arsenal, and he's had a wonderful time at Leverkusen, and they were champions, etc. When Xabi Alonso was manager, so he's had success there. To come back and go up to Wearside, knowing that it's going to be a battle, knowing that it's going to be hard, knowing what the Premier League is like, and also going to a team that have come up, teams that come up normally generally struggle. He knew it was going to be really difficult, so he was taking himself out of his own comfort zone. And to respond like he has, and the leadership he has shown, guiding 15 other players that came into the dressing room with him, a lot of younger players, a lot of inexperienced players, showing them the right way to perform and the right way to prepare yourself and be professional about how you go about in the business. And driving them forward, like he said today, Leeds wasn't good enough. We needed to get back to, and they responded really well. So he's got all of those boxes ticked, hasn't he? You know, this is not an 18-year-old. This is a 33-year-old experienced player who probably didn't need to come back, but has shown how good he really is under difficult circumstances.
Yeah, we will never know. We will never be able to quantify. But, you know, you can only surmise that position is so important. If you're coming up from the Championship, that position in the middle of the park, if you can have a real experienced leader, he's touching every position. You're never far away from him. You know, if you're a centre forward, you're getting passes. If you're a centre half, you're taking passes off it. He's connecting everything. And if you can get that position right in a team that has just come up and such an influential player with experience, know-how, has been here before in this league, can be so well spoken and you know, knitting everything together as Mac was saying, then everything just flows from that then. And I'm sure there's other great signings up there that
I was just about to say Jordan Henderson is exactly like him. Middle of the park, great talker, great leader, great pro. Is a lot older. I think came in a free contract.
36.
Brentford probably think he's been one of the signings of the season. But that position, when you've played the game, that position is so important to have a leader and someone who reads the game really well, intercepts things, puts himself in the right position. And he's showing all magnificent traits, isn't he?
Because it's not necessarily a match-winning position, is it? You know, if you're looking around for players to go and win a Premier League, then you're not looking at Granit Xhaka to, you know, but for what they want, what they need around them, I couldn't think of a better signing. I really couldn't. I mean, forget signing the season, player of the season. He's been quite incredible. He's right up in that discussion as well. Because
when I was up there for the derby, Siddiqui was saying afterwards, who's normally his midfield partner, who's one of the 6 away at AFCON, that he has never come across a player like that in his career for leadership, looking after his family, popping round to the house, making sure they've settled in, etc., etc. I mean, it's just not just his role on the pitch here that's knitted Sunderland, this new group together, is it?
Well, yeah, that's why I didn't particularly know that story, but that's a lovely thing to hear, isn't it? You know, when you're up there and you are a new signing and you come from all different clubs in the world and all different countries in the world, and you're going up to Wearside, you're going up to Sunderland, and you're thinking, I wonder what it's going to be. To have somebody come round and, listen, they'll have people looking after them, of course, in the football club, but...
Your captain?
Yes, but to have your captain go round and look after the family or ask you questions, are you OK, do you need anything, etc., etc. You know, how reassuring that is if you're a 20-year-old who's come from, you know, a lesser side. It's brilliant to hear those type of stories. But that's what everybody should be like in a football field, really. In a football club, you should have someone like that. That's what your captain's all about. Your captain has to be the leader, and it's not just leading on the pitch. It's leading off it and making sure everybody's OK and making sure people are happy and children are OK and the wives are happy. Because if they're not happy, it reflects on the player. Ergo, it reflects on the team. Just like Macca on our end of season day out,
exactly.
Really, isn't it? So always thinking about other people.
He's Oscar.
He's Oscar.
Always.
That's twice you've blushed in one show.